What did I call this thing? A rock fight?
Yeah.
It was nasty. It was dirty. It was cheap. It was physical. It was a Detroit Lion win. Tough guy football, 41-38. It was an entertaining game to watch. My goodness, up and back and forth. Bolts are 4-5. Brandon Staley in his press conference today, defiant. I believe in my guys. We're going to turn this. We're going to win this. Well, I haven't seen it yet. Do you know with this quarterback, they have now lost 13 games by 3 points or less in Brandon Staley's era of 2.5 years. 13 losses by the smallest of margins. They didn't lose in a small margin yesterday despite the scoreboard. They gave up 532 yards. There were 15 plays of plus 10. There were 9 plays of plus 20, including gains of 34, 41, 42, and 75. And Brandon Staley saying, nothing's wrong. All is fine. I believe in my guys. I felt really bad for Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen by 5 o'clock last night. They've given everything they've got, and this just keeps happening to them. Herbert threw for 323 and 4 touchdowns, and they lost. Allen caught 11 for 175, and they lost. Jared Goff, he looks so different from the guy that was with the Rams and was freaked out and panicked and sacked and turned it over. 333 and a couple touchdowns. Those two running backs, David Montgomery, Gibbs, combined for 193 running against Brandon Staley's everything is all right defense. And Detroit, I thought they were going to give it away. They won despite 4 major penalties they gave up in the second half and all the goal line failures. They left another 10 points on the field. Hell, they could have had 51 points in that game. Did anyone see Bosa or Mack, the 2 highest paid defensive players on Sunday?
No. Yeah, not really.
No, not really. In 33 dropbacks, Jared Goff was pressured 1 time. Wow. In the fourth quarter. 33 passes. They touched him 1 time. But everything is beautiful according to Brandon Staley. And John Riley says,
I'm saying if I'm a player in the NFL and I just want to find that head coach and I want to run through a brick wall for this dude, it's not Brandon Staley. It's the coach for the Lions. That guy is legit. I mean, when he was interviewed, he is strong. He's a leader. When you look at Brandon Staley, he's a coordinator. He's not a leader of men. And so I'm wondering if that's got to be the problem here because they've got the talent. What's going on?
It was most interesting. Tony Romo on CBS started the broadcast by talking about Detroit Lions could be a Super Bowl team. I said, what? Come on now. And by the time they got to the end of the telecast, he was talking about how can somebody like Justin Herbert, quarterback extraordinaire, be a 500 quarterback and never have won a playoff game? I mean, he was asking the same questions you and I and everybody on our live stream podcast is asking. It's just a mess. I don't know if Brandon Staley is going to get fired at the end of the season. I don't know if they're going to fire the general manager, Tom Telesco. I don't know if they should fire John Spanos, who's the head of all football operations. These are all his hires, his draft picks, etc. Just not good. 4-5. Got to go to Green Bay this coming weekend. It might be cold. Still got to play at New England. It's still tough in Foxborough despite the head coach there. Still got to play Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, and they have to go to face the Raiders and their new coach. So this schedule is going to be hard.
Oh, yeah. And I don't see the Chargers making the playoffs at all here. And we all thought that they had a chance to be competitive with one of the top AFC teams. Is their defense still at the bottom of the list in the NFL?
Today's ranking after yesterday's contribution of 532 yards, 32nd in the NFL.
Dead last.
But I have no problem. I believe in my guys. That's what Brandon Staley said.
Yeah, and that's what it says on his business card on his resume, right? He's a defensive genius.
Okay, we go from Bolt football, and you're a Charger fan. Feel free to jump on board Fans Forum and go to that. Talk about storylines around the NFL, John.